Ein herzliches Moin von mir. Mein Name ist János Kereszti. Ich begrüße Sie ganz herzlich hier natürlich auch nochmal von dieser Stelle vom Filmfest in Bremen. Wir haben heute eine tolle Gesprächsrunde mit den Filmschaffenden aus den Kurzfilmen der Kategorie Humor. Das ist eine internationale Runde und deswegen werden wir natürlich dieses Gespräch auch auf Englisch führen. Ich gebe da mein Bestes, so werden das die Beteiligten auch machen. Und ich stelle mal direkt vor, mit wem wir da verbunden sind. Und das ist zum einen zugeschaltet aus Italien, aus Piemont, Giacomo Capra. Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you, nice to be here with you. Thank you.
Yes, and there is Jethro Massey, live connected from Paris.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here. And then we have a duo from Greece connected. It's George Georgakopoulos, I hope that's right, and Sophia Sasli. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
And last but not least, we have Chaim Zubida, filmmaker from Israel, but right now in Ghana, farthest away from all of us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So, I had a lot of fun with your movies, and it's in the category humor that you participated. And the first thing is that, well, humor, that's a good thing to have right now because we are in such a severe situation with this global pandemic. And the first question I would like, because ladies first, I would like to ask Sophia is, how important is it right now for you to have some humorous films?
It's very, very important because everybody's at home. We are a little tough because we are not in our daily basis as we used to and as we used to know it. So if there's a chance to make people laugh and have a good time, I believe that's very, very important as artists to achieve that.
Yes, I think so. Giacomo, what do you think about that situation and doing humorous films?
Oh yes, it's a very, very difficult situation, especially as a social situation, not only medical. And I think it's a good way to do some comedy films. I love comedy films. I've done my film in Italy, and because we've got an important tradition on comedy films, and I love this genre, and I'd like to also see the others films in competition. I'm very curious, and I think it's a very good way to spend time in these moments.
Yeah. Question to Jethro Massey. Do you think that the audience embraces humorous films right now a little bit more?
I think so. I think one of the things about humor is it's about, to me, at the heart of humor is really about empathy and human connection. And so, you don't laugh so often alone, you laugh with other people. So I think the thing we're all missing right now in life is this human connection. We're all staying locked up inside, this kind of thing. So films that enable us to laugh and connect with each other, I think, are very important, especially now.
Yes, and one thing that's connected with humor is they're kind of well, when I watch your films, it's like there's like serious situations that are kind of bizarre and that get to a point that we are laughing about it. Well, I get into this more specifically, perhaps to Chaim. Well, when I think about your film, shh. It's well, it's this typical sound that you do when there's small children. There's a baby, well, kind of has the main role in this film, and this father and this mother, they are always shh each other to be silent, so that they do not disturb the baby. I mean, it's the situation that all parents know, and they are quite serious about it. What took you to make the humorous film about?
Well, the movie doesn't have any dialogues, which was it was a test for us in one of our assignments when I learned script writing. I'm very much in love with my dialogues. I love to write dialogues. I love to give my character tradings by dialogue. And this time, our teacher told us to write about a fight between a couple. Not between a couple, but I mean just a fight. It could be between a couple, it could be between a man and his broker, whatever we'd like. And I was trying to do it in a very silent way. I tried not to involve any dialogues while writing it. I think that when I wrote it, I didn't understand how deep I was going until we finished the script. Until I finished the script, I didn't know it. And when I watch it now, I think that all the distress that was upon our shoulders as new parents came out and manifested inside this movie. We didn't encounter anything as violent or anything as severe as happened, but I can tell you that sometimes the feeling was there. The feeling that I could do a lot of bad things was there. My wife also.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have 2 children, 2 girls. And I have to tell you that you were talking previously about the corona, so I will tell you this. They just returned to school in Ghana. Me and my wife, the day that they went to school, we drank wine at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we toasted, and we said this is a marvelous day. Marvelous day. This is the return to freedom.
Well, I'm looking right now at George and Sophia in Greece. Your movie, well, there is dialogue, and there's some bizarre dialogues. You know, there's a situation, this introducing of you being the actress of the young lady that got introduced to the family at this round, and you know it's more like how do you say, getting introduced to a new job, you know, like getting to know all the people and making some good impression. And of course everybody of us knows that, you know, coming into the house of the new girlfriend or boyfriend and behaving in the right way. And I really had to laugh because get me right, there's no conversation. They are not really talking, aren't they?
Yes, that was the basic meaning of that scene. We want them to talk a lot, have a lot of dialogue, but show that even though all this dialogue, there is not a real communication, like a ceremony that a young girl has to pass to be accepted from the family.
And what was the idea to take this setting? Is it critiqued that there's superficial moments when we are like in such a situation, or was there something else?
Yes, it's a critique. Like first of all, we believed that, as you said, all of us have been in such awkward moments. And we wanted to, stretch it a bit, so it would be absurd and comic the audience, and feel like how it is to be there.
I mean, there are certain layers of unease for me as audience, because there's this very uncomfortable situation at the table where you, Sophia, in this role. You're like, it's like a test and you have to pass it, and they really say, okay, or say, ooh, when there's no reaction. And there are these 2, I think they're inspectors that are always like looking at the whole house. I had the feeling nobody, not one character in this whole situation is comfortable, isn't it?
I believe yes, but when you have a dinner and you have in mind that there are 2 people that are inspecting things and are trying to find something to take, It's not that comfortable to roll.
Yes, and I have to ask. Well, this little girl in the beginning, that the girl is like a present, that they give to the parents, and they take it by the side. They put it in the fridge. That's kind of brutal, because you have these these thoughts about cannibalism or something like that. What are they doing? Putting them to the food? Is that the right idea, or is it a different symbol?
The young girl symbolizes, the more risky self of people, the more rebellious side of ourselves. So they want this thing to grow more, so they put it into the refrigerator to conserve it.
Okay.
To see what will happen. And see what will happen with her.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest moments is when like your husband or your boyfriend, Sophia, in this film, is beneath the table with you, and he says you're acting kind of awkward, or.
Yeah. It was a funny moment also for us, because it's odd to tell her that she's acting a little bit weird, because previously everything was awkward. So now she was trying to act more normal, but he told her that she acts a little bit weird because she breaks the circle that they have in the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I look at Giacomo because there it's obvious that the persons or the protagonists in your film, well, you can see that they're funny. They're always from the beginning on. They're like poking fun at each other, and it's immediately clear. Yeah, they are funny, and I think there's another level where there's kind of a conflict. I'm not an expert in Italy or something like that, but I know that there's like a rivalry or a great difference between the people living in the north and the people living in the south. So as I think the two protagonists, they're making a journey from the south to the north, and there's like a clash of civilization. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes. We have fun each other with me from the north in Italy with these two people in the south Italy, like the two protagonists, the two actors of my film that are also my good friends. We are studied together in the academia in Roma, and we have always fun with the differences between north and between south. We in the north are more polite in a certain way. In the south they are more exuberance. I don't know if you know about what I say. They a different different way of life, and the two actors are two very good comical actors. It's a comical couple because they are they work very well together, like comicity, and I choose they and I modeled the two protagonists of the film on the actors that I wanted for this part. Yes,
so first of all, they were the actors, and you wanted to make a film with them because they're like strong actors and characters, and you said, okay, how could they behave in this situation? Is that right?
Yes, and
that's
also
interesting.
The sketches between each other. Most of them they have written or do directly on the set. I'm the author of the film, but a lot of dialogues they invented each other or during the filming of the movie or previously. But they are good improvisators. I don't know if there is this term.
And they have to show it in the film because well, they get into a situation where they have to act as if they were artists, like the one to be a painter and the other one to be a musician,
Yes.
and they have to act spontaneously in front of an audience, and that's of course a very funny moment, you know, when they when they try to do it, and well, as you can see, they're not capable of, but the audience is, well, their anticipation is it must be art, and so they see it as art. Is that like,
Of course.
is that something perhaps you want to, well, give some, or do some critic at this scene that, well, not, I don't know, not to accept everything that is put in front of you as what it is?
Yes, the idea backwards is that, but yes, it's a very funny scene. I know I've known at the moment they set the scene on the making of the film. So and also in editing, I took a great part of the filming for that scene, because me and the editor thought that it will be very fun for the public, and I'm glad to hear that it is, and yes, the theme of the film is also that art is not. Sometimes art is what the experts say that is art. So the protagonist of the film, the artist, Tobias Daskalakis, is a famous artist. So, and the public think that the opera is a great opera because it was made by Tobias Daskalakis, but it really is not made by him. But who cares? No one says, no one see the difference between the real artist and the wrong artist.
Yeah,
and that is the theme.
Well, yeah, it's in the icebergs of the spectator. What is real? And well, when I look to Jethro Massey, well, in your film, it's of course curious that there's an old lady falling in love with a toaster. I mean, that's so absurd. But when I wrote the summary before I saw the film, I said, okay, that's really kind of crazy. I think in the summary it's even written that they are married, she and her toaster. I said, okay, how can this be like a movie? I thought it's kind of grotesque, but then I saw it and it's so lovely directed, and that you get a feeling there's an old woman that wants to have a connection, at least with somebody, at least with something, even if it's a toaster. And it was the one movie where I thought, it's a little bit sad because she seems so lonely deep in her heart. And I was wondering, is she sad because she's lonely, or has she found a way to cope with it?
Yeah, you know, for starters, I can say truth is stranger than fiction. I stole the idea from a documentary, which was about a woman who married the Eiffel Tower.
Really?
And who believes the Berlin Wall is her lover.
Oh.
And so the toaster is relatively simple compared to that, you know. But you know, this woman that in the documentary, she truly believes that the Eiffel Tower loves her back. So, and I thought it would be a funny idea to treat in a film, in something in a smaller way. And I thought about it as well, you know, in the context of the character. I don't know if she's such a sad character in a way. I think it's she's a very independent, in my mind at least. I don't know if it comes across in the film, but she's a very independent woman, and she's going to do things her way, and she would rather be with a toaster in a good relationship with her toaster than a bad relationship with another human being. You know, maybe it's better to be married to a toaster than somebody who hits you or treats you badly. So I don't know if she's such a sad character. Maybe it's for me it's more sad that people stay in bad relationships than her with her toaster.
And I thought she's, on the one hand, she's an old lady. On the other hand, she acts sometimes like a young girl. You know, there's this small close-up with the Ramones. You know, one of the first punk rock bands, and rebellious, and then she's always, you know, like flirting with all the boys that are that they don't know how to act when she's like flirting with them and trying to date them. And I think that was funny as well. And and I was, what I thought, it's not well, she keeps her dignity, so to say, with all this flirting, because she's serious about it, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's certain parts of the character that are based on a woman that I met in the metro in Paris, and if I don't think people would have believed it if I had her as she really was, this woman, because she dressed as a punk, she had tattoos, she had pink hair and blue hair, and she would chase these 20-year-old guys. She would tell these stories about her sex life without any encouragement, and she was just very open. And it occurred to me that, you know, the Ramones were what, 1975, 1978. So 40 years ago, it's not such a stretch to think of an 80-year-old woman or a 75-year-old woman as a fan of the Ramones. They would have been, you know, she would have been 30, 35 when they came out. So, yeah, I think it's...
And the kitchen looks a little bit like a kitchen from a student, huh?
Yeah, and I think everybody has their nature. Some people are just childlike in their nature. You know, I think it's something to aspire to, even to keep that curiosity and excitement about the world. So there's a lot of things in the character that I admire, even if she's a little strange.
Absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. And well, she tries to get in touch with her neighbor. That's funny as well, because she's really working hard to get in touch with her, and then she succeeds, but only for this short period, huh? Isn't it?
Right. Yeah, she's got a neighbor who they're evidently, when you meet them, they're at war. For some reason, her neighbor hates her, and as the film goes on, you discover maybe why. And they seem to have this, what's the word? This relationship where they need to be at war with each other. But
at least
also they need each other,
it's a connection, you know? Huh? At least it's a connection, yeah. Even if it's war.
Yeah.
And you said
exactly. So.
You said perhaps you see a lot of bad relationships, and you wanted to show a character that well, prefers to have a relationship with a toaster rather than a bad relationship. Is it something that you see more and more, bad relationships, that concerns you?
I don't know if I think it's always concerned me. I don't know. I see. I don't know. When I was younger, I certainly used to get very angry with my friends when they would just not stop moaning about the person they were with, but they would never break up with the person. They were too scared not to be in a relationship. So, you know, I think it comes back to this idea that the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself, and when you have that sorted, then you can have a good relationship with somebody else. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of bad relationships around, and it's always, as an outsider, as a friend of somebody in a bad relationship, you're always going, why do you stay? You know, we don't make comments on good relationships because there's nothing to, you know, you don't need to fix anything. But maybe, we all want to comment on the things that maybe I don't know. Why I'm always asking myself why people stay in bad relationships. I know there are matters of the heart and things you could never explain, but There you go.
I just saw on the screen, I saw Chaim nodding. What were your thoughts about it? Do you have an answer why people stay in bad relationships?
I think Mr. Massi answered it very, very good when he said the fear of being alone, the fear of ending. I think that it's the fear of ending alone and getting used to the routine of being alone that disperses them from changing their partner or breaking up with their partner. This is my notion.
Well, in your movie, Chaim, well, there's this couple, and they have this little baby, but they fight each other because the baby is, everything is inferior to the well-being of the baby. It seems like, of course, that there's a baby that they have to take care of destroys their relationship. Do you think that? Well, it's dangerous. Dangerous for a couple that they can lose each other, of course, when they have a baby.
Yeah, I know of a lot of couples that after the first child was born, they got divorced or they got separated. This is a trauma, a really traumatic thing to a relationship, especially in the modern time, especially in the modern age. I remember that I used to, when I wanted to go to the sea, to the beach side in the morning, on Saturday morning, I would take my keys, I would take my wallet, and I'm ready to go. I didn't have any strings attached. And when the baby came, it was like a 40 to 1 hour ordeal every time we leave the house. You have to take care of the diapers, you have to take care of the powder, you have to take care of the food, where you're going to warm up the materna. All of these things, when you take it into consideration, you understand that slowly the freedom that you knew and enjoyed as a single man or as a man inside a couple, with no other people inside it, no one to define the family besides you and your partner, I think that it was a shock. I think it's something that everybody, when he first encounters, at least for me and my friends, I think it was really a traumatic issue. What are we going to do with this new thing that keeps on screaming, demanding attention, wetting himself, wants to be fed, and can't do anything alone?
Yeah. I just heard the sentence that you have to be like happy or confident with yourself. I'm not sure if Jethro Massey said it or you just, Chaim. I think that's an important thing, to be happy. Well, I look at George and Sophia. Of course, there's a relationship in the center of your movie with this young woman and getting introduced to the family. It seems like she's doing a favor to her friend. It seems like perhaps a little bit old-fashioned, but it seems like necessary. Is that the case? Like, I don't know, in Greece, or could it be like everywhere in Europe?
You want to say?
Okay, I think it's over-exaggerated in the film, but in a small sense, I think you want to make a good impression. You go prepared. You want.
You bring sweets. You bring
yes.
a present.
Yes.
You smile. You want them to like you. Yeah.
You don't say things you don't have to say. You say the things you have to say.
Maybe you prepare and get to know which people you can talk to in specific topics and other topics to let them out.
And there's always a weird uncle that says, some things about sex or things that make you uncomfortable. And I think that's speaking with other people in Europe that have saw the film. Yes. You can see that here too. The thing is always happens.
Have you experienced such a situation, or do you remember something like that?
With uncle?
Well, like being new with the parents of a new partner, or and being there and being very uncomfortable. So I asked because was it hard for you to get a feeling for this character?
Yeah, I remember introducing my boyfriend to my mom, and I was awkward. He was really cool, but I was the awkward one. Yeah, because I wanted her to like him. I was afraid if he would do something that wouldn't be appropriate. So there was an awkwardness all over the meeting.
Okay. Well, at the beginning, I asked how important is humor at the time right now. Now, when we talked about your movies, of course, you as the responsible and like your actor, or you directed the movies or had the idea for it, you were inspired by situations that you saw in your daily life. Now, our daily life, I think from all of us, changed in the last 12 months. So what about inspiration in these months right now? Is there a chance for it, or is it just different? How do you experience that? Well, it's tough for me now to ask anybody specifically, but has anybody of you something in mind about that? What's your idea about that? Well, I look at Giacomo. Is it tough to get inspired in these days? To get new ideas
in
for
these
new
days now, or for my film?
Yes, in these days for your films, like, because the activity in our world is down. We are not seeing so many people, and well, there's not so much to get inspired by. Or am I wrong?
Yes, I think it's difficult to get inspired now because there are not many ways to set a movie. In Italy, at the moment, it's all closed, so cinema is closed, theater is closed, and it's very difficult to achieve some way to do a film or a theater show. So, but I'm lucky, I think, because I live in the countryside now, and is very important for me because you can go away, you can go on to walk in the middle of the woods or the country, and it's very inspirational. I think this, especially now that there is a good weather outside. There are flowers, that is the sun, and it's a right way to get inspired, I think, and hopefully I hope that there will be possibilities in the future to come back to do cinema and other ways to have I don't know whether in English, but
yeah, but I'm sure there's an audience waiting for films and for stories and that you are telling. When I look at the others, is anybody of you kind of like inspired? Do you see perhaps some people now in different situations that kind of gives you new ideas, perhaps for plots, for films, for conflicts? Is there something? Chaim, you were nodding. Is there something going through your mind?
I just talked to a friend a week ago, and the entire time he told me that the entire time that he's a scriptwriter also, and he told me that the entire time that he was in the house quarantined because of the coronavirus, he used to miss his hometown, which is in the deserts of Israel, in the southern part of Israel. So he wrote a Western. He wrote an Israeli Western.
Wow.
He sat down, he said, I miss it so much, so I'm going to write about it. I'm going to write about the scenery that I miss. I'm going to write about the dust. I'm going to write about the sun that is banging on people's heads. And this is what he did. And I think that there are a lot of people, I think that it's especially screenwriters. With the directors, it's a little bit hard to take the crew, to take the equipment, and to leave the house and to go film. But when you are a screenwriter, scriptwriter, you can use this, you can use your imagination in order to flee the situation that you are in. And I think that a lot of people that I'm talking to have managed to do that.
Sophia, in this round, you're an actress. Chaim just mentioned it's a little bit different for a screenwriter to sit down at his living room or at a table and write down his ideas. You are in a position that you would have to act and work in a team. So how's that?
Yes.
How's that going right now?
Well, theaters are closed, so there's not an option. Which is really tough because as actors we love theater and the progress of the rehearsal, but well, we try to make small projects with a small group of people, and it's difficult. It's difficult because we don't have another option to do something else. I mean, I make some self-tapes to send to some casting directors. That's also a way to refresh my skills and not just to be a part of it at all. But it's not the same, unfortunately. And I discussed with also other fellow actors, and it's a bump.
Well, yeah, there are some situations that we have to deal differently with in this situation right now. Of course, we would have loved to have you here in Bremen. As I heard, none of you has been to Bremen. Well, I'm sure you miss something because the city is beautiful, but on the other hand, you miss an audience watching the movies that you made, the films that you made, and reacting to these films. How much does it hurt to not have this experience? I look at you, Jethro, because you said you were sitting on your couch quite a lot.
Yeah, it's really important. I think it's especially important in humor, in comedy, because it's about laughter, you know, and that's again, it's a shared experience. And I've had one screening of when it first came out, the cinemas were open, so we were able to screen for the cast and the crew. And as a filmmaker, I think it's the first time I'm not much of a comedy filmmaker. It's not my special skill, but I can share the fact that I'm sure the other directors have had, that hearing an audience laugh at your work is one of the most pleasurable things you can go through as a director or an actor, I imagine. So yeah, of course we miss our audiences. We miss being able to share, because I think as cinema, you know, it's what it is. It's a shared experience. Long live cinemas, and let's hope we can get back to them soon.
Yeah, we definitely do. Some others with feelings or thoughts about that aspect?
Yes, it's a thing that filming is a thing that has to be with a lot of people. In the comedies, it's very nice to hear something made or written or thought about and hear people laugh. But even if you watch a film that has some comic elements, when you see it with people together, it becomes more funnier, and it works better when a lot of people see it. You know, if people go with positive energy. Mm-hmm. So they will go. They want to see a film. They want to laugh. So this spreads to the audience, mm-hmm. and it makes the film work better. So, of course, it's nice to see a movie and laugh on your own with a friend. But it's nothing compared to seeing a film,
with live audience.
Yeah, laughter can be infectious. Is there any other sort of feedback that you get on these films that you made and that we see in Bremen? Like, is there somebody writing an email or having a post on Facebook or something like that? Hey, it's funny, great film, or is that the only feedback that you get, or in which forms does that happen?
You mean now, right?
Yeah, right now.
With messages, I believe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes. Yeah. So it's this like form of computer or messaging dienst or messaging services. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
On Instagram or in our messenger if we know people in person. In our page of our movie, we have some messages.
Yeah. And for the others as well.
Can people at the festival that see up in a digital festival, if they like a film, they search for the creators and they have say, I liked what you did, or and there's a kind of connection between the creators of a film too. You see at a festival, you see a film you liked, you try to speak with the other one, you find him on social media, say, I like your work. I hope so. I think your festival is doing a very great job to bring people that behind the cameras and in front of the cameras together at your festival. I think it's going to work very fine. You have done a lot of work.
Yes. We do our best. Thank you. So, and of course, the other aspect of a festival is not just for the audience, but is if you were invited and being in person here in Bremen or at other festivals, you could talk to each other as well, like talking about ideas. How do you stay in contact with other colleagues? Is it just like as we talk now, or are there any other chances? And how good is this connection right now?
It's one of the things I noticed with my previous film going around festivals. Was really the first time I'd been to a lot of festivals, and I realized that as a film director, I meet a lot of people, film crew, camera people, lighting people, makeup, actors, but the one thing I never really met was other directors. And so going to film festivals was really lovely to share, to be able to meet other directors and talk about our different and very similar experiences and very different experiences making films. I really love that. So I think, it's one of the things with these, this kind of chat, being able to do that at the very least is lovely. Of course, it would be so nice to be able to have a drink with everybody in person. But it's funny as a film director, often you're sort of on your own. You're not surrounded by a lot of other people doing the same thing as you often. So that's one thing I love about festivals.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity. Chaim, you were nodding again, so that's true for you too, or? I mean, from Ghana, it's quite different to be in touch with others. Huh? You have to, you depend on the internet.
You're right. I have to say that we are working as a team. I have a team that works together of screenwriters and scriptwriters, and we've been working together for the last 5 years. I think that Facebook basically to uplift the way that we're doing it, since there is a group of screenwriters, everybody is inside their own genres, everybody is dealing with their own script, but we are all working as a collective. I mean, this is a wonderful thing. Somebody posts in the group, they have an idea for something and he needs help. And immediately you have 4 or 5 people doing a debate inside a personal group, talking about it, having Zoom meetings. Of course, the times have changed. Of course, there are limitations to what you can do. But however, I think that it has opened a new hatch. This was not as common. I remember that when we were not at confinement and we were not forced to be inside the houses because of the corona, the sense of freedom made everybody go to a coffee house, write with themselves, come home, write with themselves. And when they wanted to meet with people, it was more of a social meeting. For me, I'm taking it from my point. It was a social meeting and not a work and a collaboration. I think that right now, because everybody has extra time, everybody wants to give this extra time in order to learn and to be taught. And this is for me an amazing thing.
Okay, yeah. Looks like there's a chance in it. Well, it was wonderful talking to you, and it was wonderful that you sent us your films, and we had so much fun with it. And I hope that a big audience is having fun with it. I'm sure, and it really was a pleasure to have you here. So again, I say thank you to George and to Sophia from Greece. I say thank you to Giacomo from Italy.
Thank you.
To Jethro, being with us from Paris, and of course to Chaim, now here connected from Ghana. All the best, and we're looking forward to have you, well, in the future, to have you perhaps here with another production that you are going to do here in Bremen, so that we can meet in person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Bye.
for having us.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
I hope to meet you
Nice to meet
in person
you all.
in Bremen in the future. Thank you.
Ja, liebe Zuschauer, also ich hoffe, das hat Ihnen gefallen, das Gespräch, und ich hoffe auch, falls Sie noch nicht die ganzen Filme geguckt haben von diesen 4 Filmschaffenden, dass Sie jetzt Lust bekommen haben. Und das Angebot ist ja auch groß, was wir haben auf unserer Seite Filmfest Bremen. Klicken Sie sich durch, viel Spaß noch mit dem Programm, was wir da für Sie haben.